Boston. South Station, 7 a.m. The commuter train to Providence was packed. Daniel, a single father of 27, squeezed on with his 3-year-old daughter Sophia in his arms. She was crying, hungry, overwhelmed by the crowd. Daniel had lost his job last week. They'd been sleeping in shelters. Today he was traveling to Providence for a job interview, his last op, but Sophia wouldn't stop crying. Passengers glared. One man in a suit snapped, "Can you shut that kid up? Some of us have real jobs to get to." Subscribe now, because the homeless violinist in the corner is about to create the most beautiful moment this train has ever witnessed. In the corner of the train car, a homeless woman in her 60s sat with a battered violin case. She'd been playing earlier, but stopped when people complained. Now she stood up, walked over to Daniel, and without a word, began to play. Not classical music. Not begging music. A simple, joyful melody. Almost childlike. Sophia stopped crying instantly. Hypnotized, she reached out toward the violin. Fascinated, the woman smiled and moved closer, letting Sophia's tiny hand touch the strings. A horrible sound came out. The woman laughed. "Perfect. Perfect. You're a natural." The entire train car stopped and watched. Some people started smiling. The tension dissolved. When the woman finished, she knelt in front of Sophia. "You know what? You remind me of someone very special." Daniel, tears in his eyes, asked, "Who?" The woman pulled out an old photo from her pocket. A little girl with Down syndrome, smiling, holding a toy violin. "My daughter, Grace. She died 12 years ago. She was 16. Heart attack. It's common in people with Down syndrome." Daniel felt punched in the gut. "I'm so sorry. ... Double quotes. The woman shook her head. "Grace gave me the best 16 years of my life. She taught me that music isn't about perfection. It's about feeling. That's why I play on trains, because here I find people who need music as much as Grace needed it." Follow the channel to discover the gift this musician will give Sophia that will change everything. The woman opened her violin case. Inside, besides the violin, was another instrument, a small harmonica. Grace played this. She was terrible at it. She laughed softly, but she loved it. "I want Sophia to have it." Daniel protested. "No, it's a memory of your daughter. ... Exactly," the woman interrupted. "And memories should live, not die, in a case." Grace would want another special child to feel music the way she felt it. Sophia took the harmonica and blew. A terrible sound, but her smile was radiant. Passengers began applauding. The angry man in the suit approached, ashamed. I'm sorry. My brother has autism. I should have been more understanding." He left $20 in the woman's case. Other passengers did the same. In 5 minutes, the case had $200. The woman gave it all to Daniel. For Sophia, for therapy, for whatever she needs. Daniel couldn't speak. The woman hugged Sophia. "Take care of her. And always remind her that she's perfect exactly as she is, like Grace was." They got off at the next station. Daniel turned to thank her one last time, but the woman was gone, vanished into the crowd. Daniel searched every car, but never found her. It was as if she'd been a ghost. Years later, Sophia learned to play the harmonica properly. At 12, she played at school events. At 16, she recorded a song. She titled it Grace, in honor of the girl she never met, but whose gift changed her life. Daniel tried for years to find the musician. Asked at the station, posted on social media. Nothing, until one day, a Facebook message. "I'm the daughter of the train musician. My mother was Catherine Walsh. She died last year. In her will, she left instructions to find you. There's something you need to know." David met with her. She explained, "My mother wasn't a homeless musician by necessity. She was a millionaire. Inherited a fortune from my grandfather, but after Grace died, she gave it all up. donated 90% of her money to Down syndrome organizations, and used the rest to live simply and play on trains. She said trains were where she found true humanity. In 12 years, she helped over 150 families. Yours was the last. She handed Daniel an envelope. Inside, a letter. Dear Daniel, if you're reading this, I've passed on. I want you to know that meeting you and Sophia gave me peace. That morning on the train, I wasn't the one who saved Sophia. Sophia saved me. She reminded me why grace mattered. Why every special child is a gift. Use the remaining money from my account. Details enclosed for Sophia's therapies. And tell her that Grace is watching from heaven, proud, with eternal love. Catherine. The account had $800,000. Daniel cried for hours. He used the money to create a music center for children with special needs. He called it Grace and Sophia Center. Every child received a free instrument. Every child learned that being different was being special. Sophia, now 22, runs the center. She plays Grace's harmonica every day. And whenever a parent enters feeling lost, Sophia tells them the story of the phantom train musician who taught her that music doesn't need perfection. It only needs love. Catherine Walsh died alone, but happy, because she knew Grace lived on. Not in photos or memories, but in every note Sophia played, in every smile of every special child who found their voice through music. Love, like music, never ends. It just changes melody. Catherine was buried next to Grace. On her headstone, she couldn't save her daughter, so she saved everyone else's. And at the Grace and Sophia Center, they play music every day. Free concerts for families who can't afford tickets. Music therapy for children who can't afford treatment, all funded by the millionaire who pretended to be homeless. Because Catherine understood something the world forgets. Real wealth isn't counted in dollars. It's counted in lives touched, in children saved, in harmonicas passed down, in melodies that refused to die. Grace Walsh, 1996 to 2012. A girl who taught the world that different is beautiful. Her mother spent 12 years making sure that lesson lived forever. One train ride at a time, one crying child at a time, one harmonica at a time. And now Sophia, who received Grace's gift, carries that torch, teaching music, spreading joy, proving that love transcends death. Because Grace didn't die. She just changed form, from a girl with Down syndrome into a legacy of thousands of children who learn that they are perfect exactly as they are. That is immortality, not living forever, but making sure your love does.